Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank all of those who are here on time. But of course, as customary, we'll give the other members some time those who are making their way home, those who are still getting ready, just give them 10 more minutes to join the meeting before we start. So we will be starting the session at 10 past 6. Thank you once again for those who are already here. And please bear with us as we try to give the other members some time. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for our final presentation. It has been 10 weeks, 10-week-long Ag-cademy sessions. So this evening is our final presentation. And tonight we have the presenter, Ms. Xenia Douglas, who will be making a presentation on nutritional marketing. And myself, your co-host, Otto McDowell. So Xenia, just to give a bit of background on Ms. Xenia Douglas, she is part of an organization or a platform, Thrive Alive, which is a dynamic platform dedicated to promoting health, wellness, and sustainable living. It's managed by a health and nutritional coach, Xenia Douglas, who shares inspiring content on whole food plant-based diets, weight loss, and healthy eating in moderation. Thrive Alive also emphasizes the importance of physical activity and supports local agri-businesses, raising awareness about food security and climate change. The platform's focus is on reducing chronic diseases in St. Lucia through educational and engaging content, inspiring followers to make healthier lifestyle choices while championing local sustainable food sources. This evening, everyone, please assist me with welcoming our presenter on nutritional marketing, Ms. Xenia Douglas. Xenia, you are muted. Sorry, we're not hearing you.
Good evening, everyone. I mean, my camera won't be on for the entire session, but I wanted to at least show my face.
Good evening.
I do hope everyone is well. I hope you had a fantastic day. And if you didn't have a fantastic day, I will try to make sure I keep everyone entertained, with my bubbly spirits. Today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, which, as also mentioned, is nutritional marketing. So I look forward to diving right in. How is everyone doing today on a scale of 1 to 10? We're going to be talking a lot about skills today.
10.
10. Wow. Valerie, you're having a great day.
Yep. Just came out the garden.
I love that for you. I love that for you. Hope you pick something for me.
Pardon?
All right. Well, I said, I hope you picked something for me.
No, I was planting dragon fruit.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that sounds fun. Beth is a 7. Okay, like I said, we'll be talking a little bit about skills today to start off the class, but as I highlighted, it's nice to meet everyone. I will share my screen now and we will talk a little bit about nutritional marketing. Oh, wrong screen. Let's see, what is that? Is everyone able to see clearly?
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, great. Let's see, presentation. Be fine. Okay. All right. So today, as I highlighted, we're going to be speaking about nutritional marketing. It sounds a lot more complicated than it actually is, but nutritional marketing is more so about prioritizing getting to know the customer, understanding the customer's needs, and the consumer's interest. And from that point, decide, well, speaking more about nutrition to them based on whether they're interested or not. So as I said, we'll be speaking a little bit more about that today. Our objectives, we're going to understand nutrition marketing fundamentals, how to identify and communicate nutritional value. Then we're going to define our target audience based on everyone's interest here, which I'm assuming would have to fall in agribusiness, farming, agriculture, trying to push your products and services. And then we're going to speak about effective nutrition marketing strategies. We will spend some time touching on digital and traditional channels because I do know that Helen's Daughters really is the umbrella company under which most individuals here fall. Everyone has a farm her, correct? Is that the correct terminology?
Yes.
So everyone here is a farm her. So I'm just going to speak a little bit about what we can do outside of just being a farm her to make sure that we reach our target audience from a digital perspective, right? So let's jump on into it. So we have a class exercise first. I just want two to three volunteers to tell us about your agribusiness currently, what you do under Helen's Daughters, and its products within 60 seconds. So I have a timer, and then we'll rate ourselves on a scale of 1 to 10. You'll let me know how well you thought you summarized your products and services. So who would like to go first? Don't raise your hands all at once. I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, at the end of the day, you would know your product the best. You know what you do best. So I see we have a name, Fidelia. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, correct.
Okay. I'm going
Okay.
to set my timer right now. So in 60 seconds, you will tell me what you do at Helen's Daughters in 3, 2, the timer started before me. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so under Helen's Daughters, I am not fully a member as yet, but I have registered, just waiting on the next cohort of persons. Actually, I have a farm, 2 acres of land. I have almost half of an acre in dashing, the other half in sweet potato and plantain. And I have another piece where I do my vegetables and fruits like watermelon, cantaloupe, and cucumbers. Then I have a side with seasoning like celery, chives, and yeah. So it's divided in 2 acres, and that's what we have planted at the moment.
Okay, great. Oh, wow, you actually did it in 50 seconds. Round of applause for you. Okay, so you told us a little bit about your products. You told us a little bit about your services. How well do you think you summarize your products and services on a scale of 1 to 10?
8,
8. Why would you give yourself an 8?
because there's still room for improvement. There are still some stuff that we have to deal with, especially we started drainage now. It was a problem on the farm. I used to have some issues, and I was worrying, wondering, giving it different kind of chemicals and never got through at the bottom of the problem, not just realizing it was the water that was affecting the
Your,
seasoning pepper and the sweet peppers.
mm-hmm.
Yes,
So essentially there was more you wanted to say. I mean, I would give you a 9 because I think you summarized what you do very well. You spoke mostly to the products that you sell. So if somebody was listening, if any of the products piqued their interest, they would have easily gained an understanding. So I think you did a great job. I think we can give Fidelia a round of applause. Is there anyone else who would like to attempt or try?
Anyone else, ladies? Just to give a quick summary on your business. It doesn't necessarily have to be under Helen's Daughters, just you as a
Just a
farm
summary.
you
Yes.
offer, yes.
Hi, can I go through? Can I go?
Yes, go
Can
ahead.
I say something? Okay. My name is Maureen. I'm from St. Lucia, but presently I am in the UK, in London. I'm a born and bred Londoner. But in St. Lucia, I have a nature trail, one of the top sites to see in St. Lucia, Ted Paul Nature Trail. I also
Wow.
have a farming. I also have a farm. I plant dashing sweet potatoes, cucumbers, tomatoes. Everything that you can think of, all the vegetables and fruits. One of the things we want to do right now is to diversify into cottages. There's enough land for so many things that we want to do. My son has come down and he's helping me. Whilst I'm in St. Lucia, whilst I'm in London, he's managing. We also have a a wedding gazebo. It's called St. Pierre Point. So, we sell to Massy and sometimes to the hotels. But in the last few years, since COVID, we have not been able to sell to the hotels because of the adverse weather conditions.
Okay, you did fantastic. Actually, right on time. The timer's about to go off. I don't know if you can
Thank
hear
you.
it. So
Yeah.
well done. So in our short exercise, I think everyone was able to summarize their products and services extremely well. I think we were able to see that everyone is knowledgeable on that. However, what I want us to outline and realize today is that nutritional marketing is less about what you do as a person, and nutritional marketing has to more so educate, inspire, and appeal to the consumer based on the health benefits associated with what you're doing. So it's important for us to understand how to express what we do, which is great. But what I want us to pay attention to today, and I'm hoping that we can open our eyes to, is to remember that our goal, like I said, with nutritional marketing is more so from an educational standpoint, not just in what we do, but in how what we do and the products that and services we offer can benefit the customer. Does everyone understand where I'm coming from?
Yes.
I'll take that
Yes.
as a yes. Great.
Yes.
So those who thought that we did not get a 10 out of 10, we're going to try to raise that score by the end of this evening to a 10 out of 10. So let's move into nutritional marketing. Now, a lot of people immediately, when they think of nutrition, they think of the back of the label. And as we highlighted earlier, that more or less has one part to play, but it speaks more to what each element at the back of the label, how each element at the back of the label is able to benefit the consumer. So we're going to go straight into the definition. This means positioning products based on the health benefits to appeal to a growing consumer base interested in wellness and nutrition. This industry is extremely important because, as you guys know, as of currently, there are numerous individuals who are trying to become more health conscious. Now, unfortunately, St. Lucia does not have the most accurate record of their data when it comes to our food sales and growth. However, this, as you mentioned earlier, also there are a number of people from different parts of the world who might be part of this discussion. And a lot of the data indicates that most people are looking towards eating, being more health conscious, eating more organic foods. And we can see that there's been a steady incline up until 2021. They're even saying in 2024, despite economic uncertainties, the commitment to organic food remains strong. So there are a lot of people who are moving towards organic products, products with environmental and health benefits. And most of you ladies, you already are hosting and curating foods that are extremely organic, that come straight from the ground, that are very plant-based. And obviously there's an opportunity for you to meet this demand. So it's important for you to understand that most consumers right now, when they think of food that comes from a farm, when they think of fruits, when they think of vegetables, when they think of things that are homemade or organic, they are thinking from a very health conscious perspective. So your job, I guess, in an effort to sell your product would be to ensure that whatever you are sharing with them is in a way that appeals to the consumer's interest, which is to be more health conscious, to be healthier, to be fitter, to be stronger. All of that is going to assist you in making those sales, right? So now we're going to talk about how to identify and communicate nutritional value. Now, I am somebody who comes from a marketing background, and when you come from a marketing background, sometimes you have to visualize things and put them into steps. So nutritional marketing is very simple. And there are 4 steps that, well, I utilize, particularly when I do my work with Strive Alive, that I use to kind of just bring my point across, especially when I'm speaking with a customer or consumer. Step 1 is just to know your product. Step 2 is to know your audience. Step 3 is to pick your strategy. And step 4 is to make the sale. Very simple, very easy. And we will talk a little bit more about each element. So let's talk about knowing your product, right? It's important for us to be a valuable resource when it comes to what we sell. I know most people here, they have farms, right? You know that you're growing lettuce, you're growing cucumbers, you're growing tomatoes, but do you know the health benefits of the products you sell? Can anyone give me some of the health benefits of, let's say, a tomato? Let's see if anyone knows off their head. The nutritional value, the health benefits, the vitamins and minerals you might find in tomatoes. Does anyone know?
Yeah. Vitamin A,
Mm-hmm.
vitamin C,
Mm-hmm.
lycopene.
Yes, lycopene as well. In tomatoes, you'll also get things like potassium, vitamin K. So, and of course, you know, botanically, it is seen as a fruit, but it is usually prepared as a vegetable. So the point I'm trying to make is it's important for you to be a valuable resource when it comes to your foods. Well, when it comes to anything that you sell, right? So ensure that you have a very good understanding of your product line, the features, the benefits, the unique selling points, the products it solves. Those are very essential if you're looking to ensure you can capture your consumers' attention. Another important part is to speak about what makes your product different to competitors. Now, I've spoken a lot about individuals who do farming and have, you know, fruits and vegetables, items that are not processed. But having attended the farmers market, I know that there are also individuals who make their own products. They make their own oils. I know some of you, you make your own. I bought recently one of the car air fresheners the other day. So you also need to make sure you have an understanding of what makes your product different from your competitors in terms of the quality, in terms of the sourcing. Is it locally sourced products? Are the products organic? Are they made with sustainable ingredients? If you're making wines, are the wines done in a specific way that would capture the attention of people who, let's say, are environmentally friendly? And do you have certification for some of your items? For example, are they green certified? I know if you're under Helen's Daughters, most things are, you know, up to a particular standard. But all of this is also important in making sure you're reaching your consumer in the most effective way, right? Another element that I want to speak to is, of course, the benefits to the average consumer. You have to be able to read or sometimes profile the people who come to you in terms of selling to figure out what they're really looking for from a nutritional perspective. For example, if you have a nutritional product and you know that product has specific benefits, what are the benefits? How can you ensure that the customer knows what the benefits are, right? If it's a jewelry product, emphasize how it adds a sense of personal style or self-expression. As I highlighted from the beginning, when it comes to marketing, particularly nutritional marketing, it really all falls into the eyes of the consumer. How can we educate and inspire them as opposed to selling to them? How can we build trust? How can we form a connection with them based on their likes and their dislikes? That's really what's most important. Now, I also have this know your product sheet because when it comes to nutritional marketing, a way in which you're expected to know your products has to be knowing your product's nutritional value. Someone was able to identify earlier vitamin C and vitamin A in tomatoes, which is fantastic. Yes, they do have those vitamins, but within the different products and services that you guys offer, particularly if you do produce or if you do anything that consumers eat or drink, you would need to make sure you have an understanding of your products, vitamins, minerals, macros, etc. So it's very easy for you guys to research. I did insert a cheat sheet here, which has vitamin A, B1, B2, B3, B6, all the way up to K, and speaks to how each one can be used, right? And of course, some food source examples. Is there anyone who does livestock within the Helen's Daughters brand? I'm not sure. Yes, no? Not really. It's mostly produce, right?
I do livestock.
Or is somebody, okay, so somebody does livestock. So yes, of course, in communicating to your customers, then you have to know your selling points. Is it that it's organic? Is it that it's done in a sustainable way? Is it that the sources are very high in, for example, vitamin A, vitamin B1, vitamin B6, etc. Right? I've also listed some plant-based vitamin sources. We will speak about the different types of customers shortly, but as I mentioned, it's good to have an understanding of how each product can appeal to your customer. If you have a customer who's plant-based or a customer who's vegan or a customer who's dairy-free, just ensuring that you know what the contents of your products entail. Step 2 is to know your audience. And we spoke a little bit about that a while ago. So we're going to be speaking about who you are marketing to. Now, with nutritional marketing, as I highlighted, you have to focus on the customer or the type of person who's going to be coming to you, expecting you to provide them with the knowledge to purchase your products, right? So we have different types of consumers. You can have a consumer who is extremely a busy person who is maybe just looking for something quick and easy to make in the morning, right? You might have a fitness enthusiast, somebody who's focused on health, somebody who wants, let's say, a high protein foods that you might sell, nutrients dense food, low calorie options because maybe they're on a weight loss journey. If you're looking at young families, usually young families, especially in nutritional marketing, they want something that's quick and easy. They want an easy to make solution. They want to know that if they, add this formula to some water, that they're able to make something for their children to have to eat or drink in the morning, right? They normally prioritize organic, nutrient-dense foods. We can move straight into the eco-conscious consumer, which you will get in St. Lucia. And I feel like the industry is growing a lot more as well. Those are usually just motivated by sustainability and eco-friendly practices. What are you using to package your items? What types of straws are you using for the consumption of your food and drinks, etc. Right? There are also instances in who you're marketing to. You might look at health conscious seniors. They might be interested in purchasing your items as well. So older adults who are focused on heart health, digestive wellness, looking for sugar-free foods, looking for lactose-free foods, ensure that you, like I said, you know your product to the point where the minute you see that customer and you see that customer profile, you're able to say, okay, well, this person, this is what they're probably going to be looking for, so that you can add those tidbits in your discussions and connections with them, right? So like I said, these are just a couple of examples. Let's move a little bit on to some real life case scenarios, right? So real life case scenario. Oh, I just realized it says cases scenario. Excuse that. So you have two different types of customers. We have Maya and we have Deborah. So let's say you guys are in the process of trying to market to them, whether it be at the farmer's market, whether it be at some other pop-up shop that Helen's daughter decides to host, based on the customers and the customer, well, if you have to profile them as customers, from a nutritional marketing perspective, if you wanted to connect with these individuals, what would you say? Let's start with Maya. What type of person does Maya look like? Does Maya look like a fitness enthusiast? Does she look like she has a young family? Does she look like an eco-conscious consumer? Does she look like a health-conscious consumer? Anyone is free to provide their feedback on how they would approach starting a conversation with Maya so that she understands the nutritional value of their product. Does anyone want to go?
Okay, so I'll go. Good evening. So for Maya seems to be very health conscious. She seems to be into fitness and fresh produce.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
So she
these are
seems to be
some
health
great
conscious,
talking
yes.
points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so these are very good conversational points. bring up any new products, any superfood, anything of interest like that.
To her so that you can engage her on those conversations. You can also maybe observe based on what she's picking up in front of you as well. If you notice that she's picking up a lot of items that are very high in fiber, you can casually bring that up in conversation. If you notice she's picking up a lot of items that are very high in vitamin C, you can let her know the benefits of vitamin C. She might keep her hair a certain way. I notice it's very curly, for example. So you can easily let her know how certain foods can assist with hair growth, can assist with the shine and the maintenance of your hair, can assist with, reducing shedding, different things like that. Most of the products and services most of the products, I should say, that we have, especially the things that are homegrown, they have a lot of benefits. So again, it is you to ensure that you know your product inside out, whether you've created it or not, and ensure you can showcase that to the customer. Now let's take a look at a customer like Deborah. We spoke about the 4 different types earlier who we're marketing to and the customer profile. They can be fitness enthusiasts, young families, eco-conscious consumers, health-conscious seniors, busy professionals. So in speaking to somebody like Deborah, where would you start if Deborah decides to come up to your booth to ask you a couple of questions? Under what category would she fall?
Health conscious senior.
And we know from that perspective that health conscious seniors, they very much focus on heart health, digestive wellness, sugar-free, lactose-free, etc. Now, I'm not saying that when they come up to you, you have to make the assumption. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is based on your conversations with them and based on the products that you offer, always try to see if you can find a way to speak to, based on what they've expressed to you and their interests, what they're looking for, always ensure you can find a way to speak to things that might be of interest to them, right? So if she's looking for something that maybe she's looking for, she really wants to have her coffee in the morning with X, maybe with honey or something, and she wants it to be something sugar-free, you recommend the honey that you have, why yours is extremely different to that of a competitor, its benefits, etc. Right? Now we're going to move into the 3rd phase, which is step 3, choosing your strategy. Now, choosing your strategy can come with different techniques. Given that everyone here normally falls under the Helen's Daughters group, whether it be in St. Lucia or abroad, we're going to speak to some tactics that you can do in person, because I know a lot of you, most of you do your sales in person. And we're also going to speak to some tactics that you can do online, right? So yes, we have at the market, in-person marketing strategies, digital marketing techniques, and we also have our additional tips to enhance your offers. So this is the generic way of ensuring you do the right type of nutritional marketing. Of course, you have to greet the customer. A really great aspect or technique to do is, of course, offer sampling if you're doing nutritional marketing, because, of course, you don't want your customers to feel, taste, and experience the nutritional value of your products. And, of course, there's storytelling, especially if you're somebody who's very passionate about what you do. You can easily speak to your experience, share your personal story, share customer testimonials. All of that is going to be very beneficial. But we're going to do a deeper dive and explain each one in detail and how you can use some of these to your advantage from a nutritional perspective. So something that's very engaging when it comes to nutritional marketing is visual aids. So I know most of you would do a lot of selling at the different farmers markets, and I've seen some of the lovely chalkboards that have been put together by you guys. Something that normally captures customers' attention is using lingo or visual aids that allow them to pay attention to what you're offering. So for example, you have to use popular phrases. Well, I wouldn't say popular phrases, but phrases that highlight nutritional benefits for sure. So having, it can be little cards, it can be tent cards, it can be signs that easily say things like energy booster and immunity booster. This is high in vitamin C. So while your customers are browsing, as opposed to them just looking at your products alone, they're easily able to see through your visual aids, maybe something that easily is tailored to them, right? If you're not feeling well and you see something that says immunity booster on the bottle, you're more than likely to pick it up, right? Or if you see a sticker that says, that happens if you go shopping in the supermarket too. If you see something that says new arrival or 20% off, you're faster to pay attention to it because it definitely engages with you directly. Who doesn't want a discount? Who doesn't want to have something that will benefit them directly, right? Another element of nutritional marketing is sampling with health tips, right? So no matter what you're sampling, if you're able to provide an idea on a cooking strategy, an idea on the products and the preparation tips, a nutritional recipe, for example, as you can see in the photo, some people, they really love pumpkins or they really love certain foods. If you can share a recipe that you created that helps you to sleep better, a recipe that you created that you have every time you're going for a walk or before you exercise, maybe that same pumpkin, a lot of that helps to engage the customer because most customers might have those types of hiccups or issues, right? Give me 1 second. I'm just seeing that I received a phone call. 1 second, please.
Okay, ladies, whilst Xenia is occupied at the moment, just a few things I just wanted to mention. I find is very important, especially for farmers. I think back to whenever if we go to, let's say, a jewelry store or we go to some other store where there are usually salespersons who normally they try to get us to buy stuff. And one of the ways that they do that is by offering us to either try it if it's jewelry. They offer you to try on the jewelry. Another way they get you to, or they convince you to buy stuff is by telling you about the product. And I find it interesting the way these salespersons are able to pull our interest to things that we would never normally be interested in. So for example, you go in some store and they ask you to try a ring and they would compliment you and tell you stuff like, oh, this color, it goes really nice with your eyes, or, you know, this color really suits you. But even for like the other stores where you're able to consume stuff, they would quicker tell you how the health benefits that particular product has for you. So for example, if they're selling eggs, right? And so you're going to that store for, let's say, bread. But whilst you're at that store, they will tell you, well, you should probably get some eggs along with that bread because, you know, the combination of the eggs and the bread, it has natural boosting effects of your let's say, your immune system. So, you know, you should always try to pay. That's not the case, though. That's just an example. But you should always try to pay. And I find that so interesting because that could only come from knowing your product, like Ms. Douglas mentioned earlier. And a lot of us, you know, we tend to take things for granted. So a lot of time when you go to buy produce, for example, persons will tell you, you should buy this because it's good for you. But then when you ask, okay, how is it good for me? Then you often find, you know, persons are not as sure to be able to explain how exactly it's good for you. All they know is it's good for you. But if you look at the customers who come in to buy produce, the majority of the times these customers would come in because one, they came specifically for produce, and two, they have an idea of it being good for you, but they don't they don't have a full idea of why exactly it is good for you. So for the members who normally sell produce, and as much as we know that, you know, the produce is good for you, like the dasheen, you know, people say the dasheen is very, it gives you strength, right? There's something we say in St. Lucia, dasheen, people who eat dasheen, they could run faster, right? The very athletic people, even the athletes in Jamaica, when we see them winning races, people in St. Lucia would attribute dasheen, or these people eating so much dasheen, that's why they're so strong and fast. But it's important for us to understand how exactly the products that we have, how exactly would it benefit our customers? And in the same way, let's say you're selling tangerines and someone else next to you is selling, let's say, potatoes. Someone who may come for potatoes, by you knowing the product that you have and being able to tell them about the benefits of how your product would benefit them, it would convince them to want to buy your tangerines as well. So Ms. Douglas has brought up some many important points I think that we could all learn a lot from. And I'm surely excited to be part of this presentation this evening. Ms. Douglas, are you back?
Yes, yes, I'm there. I was definitely agreeing with you because alongside what you're saying is, as I highlighted earlier, it's the importance of making sure you know what makes your product special is the same as what provides you with a competitive edge. So if two people are selling the same tangerines, as you highlighted earlier, what makes your tangerines different? Is it that yours are organically grown? Is it that you don't use pesticides to ensure that, you know, your product is sold well, is received well by consumers? Is it that your tangerines are solely grown in purified water? What makes it different is how it's going to stand out, and it's how you're going to gain the consumer's interest in things they might not even have known they'd be interested in the first place. So yes, thank you for that. Deepest apologies. Sometimes your boss calls and you just have to answer. But moving right along, right? And also touched on this a little bit earlier, educating your customers through conversation. Like I said, most of you would know your products better than anyone else, right? So while a consumer is engaged and asking you questions about what is this type of lettuce, what is this type of cucumber, you educating your customer by sharing quick nutritional facts about your items, sharing personal stories, because a lot of us, we go into some of these industries with our own personal stories, our own personal health challenges. And sometimes that's an easy way for you to connect with the consumer, right? You also sharing testimonials, because I'm sure you may have had success stories of individuals who would have purchased your products in the past, right? Sharing that with your customers through conversation, it can easily cause them to be more interested and invested in what you do and what you sell. So if you take that from a nutritional perspective, as I highlighted, given that the type of products that you guys bring to the table, easy and effective strategies for you to ensure that you're able to make those sales, right? The goal, as I highlighted, is you want to make sure you can educate and also inspire. So now we're going to look a little bit at digital marketing strategies. As I highlighted earlier, Helen's Daughters is doing quite a bit to ensure that everyone has some sort of online presence, and I think also an in-person presence as well, because most people are familiar, I'm sure, with many of you by now, at the different farmers market initiatives that takes place twice a month, right? However, an important element of nutritional marketing and digital marketing in general is ensuring that you have your own online presence, as this is also going to be beneficial to your sales, right? So you create an online presence. That's one of the many strategies that you can do. Ensure that there's a visible presence for both you and your products on social media. I know that not everyone is tech savvy, but with time, it is very simple and easy to do, just to ensure that you at least have simple pages. It can be a Facebook, it can be an Instagram, it can actually even be a card or a QR code. See if there are ways in which you can find people who can help you with that. And I'm sure if you reach out to anyone within the Helen's Daughters team, that is also going to be feasible, right? Something else that you can do, especially from a digital marketing perspective, is to share weekly highlights and nutrition tips. So by sharing what fresh produce or special items that you'll have, for example, at the farmer's market, by sharing what you would have, let's say, grown during this week or items that you plan to bring to the farmer's market. That's another easy and simple way to get customers engaged with what you do by sharing the process, the behind the scenes. For example, those of you who are farm, sharing the behind the scenes of your farm life, speaking about the fresh produce and the special items that you've been growing or working on, items that you can't wait to share. Somebody spoke about a dragon fruit earlier, right? You never know who might actually be interested and engaged, interested in engaging in you or in these types of conversations, not only in person, but also online. So I would encourage you to ensure that you do that as well. You never know who could pay attention to your page. And from that point in time, you make that type of connection and you guys might actually be able to generate sales in that regard as well, right? Now, I'm also going to share some additional tips that can enhance your offers, right? We spoke a lot about knowing your product, and one of the main ways is to ensure you have a did you know sign that has some of the nutritional offers or quick engaging facts about your product. So for example, if you're able to put a sign within your booth that's able to showcase, hey, did you know that, by consuming um, carrots, for example, they're very rich in vitamin A and they can help you to see better at nighttime. I think that's a myth, but you get where I'm coming from. Those little signs, or like I said, engaging visual aids, they can assist, right? Offering healthy snack packs, pre-packaged nutrient-dense options are also very beneficial. Like I said, there are some customers, if you look at their profile, especially if they're very busy professionals, they might want something that's already ready to go, simple and easy to use, that might just have some instructions and of course the nutritional benefits as well. That can be very effective in terms of getting individuals to partake or pay attention to what you're offering, right? In your conversations, something that you could easily do is share nutritional facts casually. You notice that the person is interested in leafy greens of all types, or maybe they've already expressed you that they don't really like leafy greens. Start sharing with them the benefits. Leafy greens are great for energy, right? Leafy greens help with fiber, are full of fiber, so they're going to allow them to have better, bowel or stool movements. Make sure that you're able to bring those things forward in terms of your conversations with them. Show the customer that you are an expert and knowledgeable in your industry, right? Ask your customers engaging questions, right? If it's a health conscious consumer, ask them about their needs. We're not saying ask them their medical history, that's a different thing. But ask them about their needs. If they're looking for a particular product, let's say they don't sleep well at night, you can ask them they're looking for something that's high in antioxidants, something that provides some sort of a melatonin type of effect, because there are products and services sold by many of you here which offer that same type of effect, right? Mention how your products support healthy lifestyles. The lifestyle element is also a very important part of nutritional marketing, because sometimes most people are not always interested in the nutritional value itself, what's at the back of the package, but there's also nutritional value in how something benefits one's lifestyle. Does it help them to sleep better? Does it help them to exercise better? Does it help them to lift their weights better? Does it help them to, go about their daily life free of injury? So ensure you're able to showcase how your product does that based on the customer, right? We spoke a little bit about infographic posters and visual aids. We spoke about we can speak about now offering maybe brochures with nutritional information and recipes, especially if you know your recipe might be a nutrient dense option. Maybe, for people who, based on your conversations with them, you're seeing that they're not the best in the kitchen and they want some guidance. especially if you're somebody who does this very often, you grow these types of foods and you cook with them very often as they're regularly available, provide them with that type of feedback. You can conduct mini demos, for example, making smoothies or juices, and in that process, speak to the customer about the health benefits, speak to them about why you're juicing the products this way, why you're peeling them this way, why you're steaming them this way, for example. Educating the customer on your cooking methods is always going to be beneficial, right? Is it that it preserves the nutrients, for example, steaming? All of these techniques are going to enhance your offers from a nutritional perspective, right? And we also did speak number 12. We also spoke about number 12 as well, creating health specific bundles, something that's, boosts your immunity, something that provides immune support, something that provides an energy boost. So all of these different techniques can assist in enhancing your nutritional offers. Now, the last thing I wanted to say, which I think I honed in from the very beginning, is that you need to remember that the goal is to educate and inspire rather than simply to sell. At the end of the day, most people, they don't want to feel as though you're regurgitating information. They want to almost have an aha moment in their conversation with you, who they're coming to as the expert in this particular product and its nutritional benefits. So by sharing the value, sharing how it's going to benefit a consumer, this helps you to build trust and foster a really good relationship with your customers. And I think by combining the different methods that we would have shared here today, both the traditional, the digital, as well as just knowing your products and services, this is going to help you in deeply resonating with your health conscious consumers, right? And this is a little bit about me. As I said, meet the team, but I'm basically the team. I do speak quite a bit on health, wellness, and sustainable living, and I do talk quite a bit about, well, I do practice, I should say, quite a bit of nutritional marketing, but more from the perspective of whole food, plant-based diets, vegan diets, and weight loss. So I hope this provides some clarity. I hope my presentation wasn't too short. And if you guys have any questions in the interim, let me know if there's anything you'd like me to touch on or expound on from this presentation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Douglas, for your presentation. Ladies, now is the time to ask your questions. Douglas gave us a lot to think about this evening, and she broke nutritional marketing into 3 easy steps. I think there's so much more that can be said if we isolate these steps. Well, 4 easy steps. Sorry, but more or less 3 easy steps on your end, apart from making the sale. But she has broken it down. She has simplified it very well. And so I'm sure many of us this evening are able to learn a lot from all of the content that she has been able to share with us. At this time, ladies, please feel free, use this opportunity to get some guidance on how this could be applied to you. Anyone has any questions or any statements they would like to make?
Yes, I have a quick question for Ms. Douglas. Can I continue?
Hi.
Okay, yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. I'm in Nevis, and I started exporting just a few produce to Anguilla, and the audience, I wouldn't know the audience per se, because there's someone there on the ground who would distribute the produce. So how do I, what is my strategy for that?
So you're exporting to Anguilla. Why?
Because a friend of mine said that he noticed that there's some produce that's not easily available, so he wants to send them, so because he wants to share. So I said, okay, I'll try, and requesting more and more. So how he doesn't say like which types are more in demand than others. Just say send whatever you have. But I would like to actually have a better understanding of who my target audience is. So how do I go about doing that? Do I need like to set up a survey, or what would I do?
I mean, the fact that he is asking for more means that there is definitely a demand. So that means the individuals who are looking for what you're offering immediately can be considered health conscious consumers, right?
Okay.
There are individuals who want to tap into eating more, because I'm assuming you're sending over a lot of produce, right? So like leafy greens, vegetables, carrots.
Yes.
What exactly are you sending across?
We're sending breadfruit, we're sending avocados, mangoes, sorrel, what else? He said whatever I usually have that can be sent, he said
Mm-hmm.
send it. Coconuts,
Mm-hmm.
what else we haven't tried bananas because they take a little bit, yeah, they're a little iffy, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but those are the main ones. Those are the main ones.
And also, is it a situation where there's a shortage? Because I know, if I'm not mistaken, I know that Anguilla tends to have shortages in the dry season pretty often. So as I
Yeah.
highlighted, that means that there is already a demand. Oh, I'm not sure if the echo is from my end. That would mean
Yeah.
that there's already a demand for the product. I guess for you to gain a better understanding, you'd have to find out from him who is purchasing. Is it something that's coming direct? Is it being purchased directly by a business? Is it being done B2B? Is it being done B2C, directly to the consumer? So once you're able to iron out the pathways as to which the sales are being made, then you can easily go back and like track and try to figure out how exactly the products are being made. You made a good point in terms of, for example, offering a survey, asking him to interact with the customers to speak about, their favorite products. What do they like? What do they dislike? So it's all a matter of, I guess, communicating with your intermediary person to find out what type of audience is making the purchases thus far. And from there, you can do your analysis to see what's best suited from them based on your consumer interest. And then, of course, continuing to tap into that market once you're able to see lucrative returns.
Excellent. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I also wanted to ask for just a quick practical based
Mm-hmm.
on the information that has been shared this evening. So especially on the know your product part, can you, and I know you already did for like tomato, but just to elaborate a bit more on this aspect, can you use another vegetable or a fruit and just use it as an example on, let's say, if I were a customer and I'm coming, I don't know, a vegetable or fruit that you're very familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Let's see.
and just do
Something
like a
that's
demonstration of like how knowing that product can better convince me as a customer to buy, sorry.
okay. I'm trying to think of something that everybody would have eaten before. Maybe we can start with,
Red banana.
yeah, maybe we can start with a banana, an apple. We'll start with something simple, right? Everybody knows about bananas. There are some people who dislike it. There's some people who love them, right? So if you're in a situation where you're at the farmer's market, right? Maybe you make some of the best bananas in St. Lucia, but you've met a customer who does not necessarily like bananas, right? How do you speak to them and convince them and let them know that bananas are something impactful? So, for example, if it was up to me, I would start off with the fact that I'd want to know why the person, dislikes bananas. You have to remind them that the banana is more than just a fruit. If you have to really position a banana, it can be seen as a power snack, right? A banana is something that can help people to meet their health and wellness goals. You can eat a banana before you go to work out. Let's say if there's somebody who likes to exercise. You can eat your banana before you work out, provides you with just as much energy and vitamins and minerals, energy to take you throughout your entire workout. Bananas are also good for sleep. So if you're someone who does not sleep well, you can ask them about their sleeping patterns. If they're not sleeping well, you can let them know, well, an hour before they go to bed, 30 minutes before you go to bed. Did you know that bananas also assist with, have similar effects to melatonin, and bananas can help somebody go to sleep, right? Early enough. You can also speak to the banana's versatility. You might not like bananas, but are you somebody who likes banana ice cream? The bananas that I have, they're organic and they're absolutely perfect for making smoothies, desserts, banana ice cream. So, you know, you have to ensure that every time you express to the customer based on the based on the information they're feeding you, that you're able to easily appeal to their interest, right? You can easily do things like that based on what the customer shares. So as I mentioned, there's 4 different types of customers, right? You can have your fitness enthusiasts, you can have your young families, you can have your eco-conscious consumers, you can have your health-conscious seniors, you can have busy professionals. So based on who is communicating with you, that helps you to determine the core value proposition of the person, and it helps you to easily position your product to best suit them. So as we said earlier, a fitness professional, oh my goodness, did you know that bananas are actually really great forms of natural energy? The bananas that I make, they're rich in potassium, they're full of fiber. They're gonna provide you with all the energy that you need to make it through your workout. You can use it as a pre-workout, right? Let's say it's a young family. Bananas are really great in potassium, fiber, vitamins, and minerals, which a lot of young children need at a very young age to help in their growth and development. If it's an eco-friendly, if it's an eco-conscious consumer, you speak to the fact that, you know, your bananas are very eco-friendly and convenient, and of course natural. They come straight off the tree. So it's perfect for somebody who's eco-friendly. You, a health-conscious consumer, you can let them know the benefits of bananas when it comes to heart health. Of course, you let them know that bananas do have sugar, but they're natural sugars. So at the end of the day, it's still going to be beneficial as it's fructose. There's so many different ways to basically tailor your product to the customer. But again, that comes down to knowing your product and then leveraging it to ensure that you're able to educate and inspire the person that you're talking to. I hope that provides some clarity.
Thank you very much for thank you very much for
expanding on bananas.
expanding on bananas. So ladies, here you have it. So I think it's in our best interest to know more about the different produce that we have available, and for those who do agro processing, to know more about how your product can assist the customers or help the customers to make that decision. Because they may not necessarily come looking for your product, but when you share that information with them, it would help steer them in that direction. So even if the customer that you are sharing this information with doesn't want that product, someone nearby might just hear you edifying that customer, and they may decide to buy that product. We have a question from Venetia Evelyn Elliott.
Hello, good evening. I just wanted to speak on an example. So, okay, so you have this hype in CMOS products, supplements, beverages, whatever I guess people can fit into the benefits or the usage of CMOS. So with CMOS, there's a risk of botulism when it comes to improper handling and contamination example. So if you have a product and maybe your product does not fall into the category of a threat, meaning that you know all of the ways in which you process your item. However, it is a problem. It's something that the customers might not know about. How do you go about educating the customer as well as not scaring the customer away from your product?
I understand the perspective from CMOS, because to me, if I'm not mistaken, I know that sometimes CMOS can actually is that it absorbs like a lot of heavy metals from the ocean. So I understand the perspective you're coming from, because of course things like mercury and lead and arsenic, you'd have to be very careful when it comes to consumption. But from that perspective, when it comes to marketing, what you always have in the consumer is the importance of not practicing excess consumption of a product. I'm sure you would have heard your parents tell you that too much of a good thing can have detrimental effects, right? So just like with any supplement or any food that you eat, overconsumption can lead to negative side effects. So even though something is very nutrient dense, something is very healthy, you don't necessarily you want to make sure that you're having it in moderation. So I think for a product like CMOS, that would be the first thing that I would, highlight to my customers, to avoid excessive, not necessarily to avoid excessive consumption, but to encourage them to consume it in moderation, right? You want to make sure that they're aware of that, because if not, that can be to their detriment, and you don't want to put your customer at any potential risk. So I hope that provides some clarity.
Okay, so something else I wanted your assistance with. So you showed us the can you go back, well, go forward, I think, in your slides. You have where the ingredients box. Can you just share a bit with us on how members, if they were to
Was it here? No, trying to think.
How members, if they were to go about preparing this for their products, so those who do agro-process products, can you just give like some guidance on how they are to go about and what should they include in that box? I think
Oh, I know the nutritional.
yes, the
Yes, it
label.
was there.
That's right, this one, nutritional facts.
Right. Okay. Now, the interesting thing about fruits and vegetables, right, is they normally contain quite a bit of different macronutrients and micronutrients. When we speak to macronutrients, we're speaking about fruits, vegetables, nuts, pulses, and seeds, and we're also speaking to the different, fats, vitamins, minerals, etc., right? Both macro and micro. But in terms of what's being included on the label, a lot of the times, you can easily use websites like the USDA, any nutritional website that has a certified board, and most of these websites will provide you with the nutritional content of each of your items. So for example, let me find one of the sites that I use very often. So there are certain sites, for example, All Nutrition, there's sites from Nestle, there's sites like CompleteNutrition.com, which will provide you with, once you type in the name of your item, they will provide you with the nutritional facts and nutritional breakdown of the fibers, the sugar content, the vitamins, the proteins, everything that you would need, so that it's very easy for you to express that to your customers, right? At the end of the day, the internet is very much used as a resource. So long as you're finding it from a site which is accredited, or the information comes from a certified board, that information, it is usually standard across the board in terms of what the items contain. For individuals that do a lot of produce, for example, most of us know that things like lettuce, they actually do not contain any calories whatsoever. So it would be the back of your nutrition label would basically reflect 0 for all of the items. However, given that consumers normally want this information, it is still vital for you to share that with them so that they know whatever they are consuming, they are aware of all the percentages in terms of the daily value percentages, the fats, the calories, the cholesterol, sodium, whatever it is. Once it's something that you found from a certified nutritional board or nutritional site, you include that to the back of the labeling.
Okay, great. There you have it. So, ladies, one of the things that we get, especially for our members in St. Lucia, one of the things that we get feedback on is customers requesting more information on the products that are being sold. And Ms. Douglas mentioned, well, highlighted something that is it's very, or it should be very important to us because from since COVID, you find there has been a group of persons who are more health conscious. People are more health conscious now. And so they make it their duty to find out whatever that they're about to put in their bodies, whether it's good or it's bad for them, and if it can be recommended to others. So ladies, please take note of the nutritional facts. I know it's not always possible to have this on our products. For example, like ground provisions, no one expects nutritional facts labeled on your ground provisions. But in knowing your product, it goes a long way in being able to inform customers on what's good for them. Even for those in conversation, we would know that. So, for example, some products, like let's say mangoes, we know mangoes are very high in fructose. And so in having conversation with customers, especially those who are very health conscious for a reason, it might be they're diabetic, etc. We would better be able to recommend certain different products or different produce to them, letting them know that, okay, well, if that is the case, if you're diabetic, then this might not be the best for you. I would recommend that you do this because of such and such and the other. So knowing your product is very, very important, as well as labeling your product. It assists with being able to sell the products that you have.
Yep. And Taylor, and as you just highlighted, the customer would already come to you expressing what their current interest is. They're looking for a product that is, friendly for somebody who has diabetes, right? So, like I said, ensuring that you are already aware of your products and its contents, and of course, a nutrition label is also very beneficial in that regard. That really helps to provide them with the information they need to make the best possible selection for them. And of course, you as the expert can easily guide them by keeping them engaged and informed on what's best suited for them as well. Any other
Okay, I know I have a lot of
questions?
Uh,
My presentation was
yes,
too
a
short.
question from you. So can you please just can you just please share a bit more on the marketing aspect? So a lot of the ladies, a lot of the ladies might not be as, let's say, familiar with some of the social media platforms that are available. So for example, like Instagram, etc. But I know a lot of the ladies, they use platforms such as Facebook. So you spoke earlier on the first exercise that you did in being able to share on the product. And so if someone were to share some information on the products that they have available on Facebook, how would you recommend they go about labeling that? Is it a case where they just start saying, hi, my name is Otto McDowell, and I have sweet potatoes, plantains, lettuce, cabbages available for sale. If you want something, this is my number. Should they go about doing it that way? Or what are the ways that you'd recommend that they use social media to market their products, and also in informing them of why they should buy these products?
So there are different ways to approach that, and it is dependent on the person. I see Bronte has her hand up. As soon as I'm done, I will come back to your question, right? There are different ways to approach it, right? When it comes to promoting your product digitally, right? A lot of the times when we have our social media profiles, social media profiles are a reflection of us as individuals. Most times the people who are around us on social media are our friends, our family, that's who's following us. So you need to show up on social media and speak to your product from the perspective that you think works most best for you. For example, we spoke earlier about how some individuals, they educate their customers from the perspective of storytelling. There are some individuals who might like, well, I have experience in the farmers markets as well. They're a farmer, they're very passionate about their products simply because maybe they've had their own health challenges or they've had family members with their own health challenges, and that inspired them to now take it upon themselves to learn and understand the products, their medicinal benefits, how they work, and they've decided to share that with others. So that's one way in which you can push your product, right? There are some individuals who genuinely just love farming. They love farming. They love seeing a product, start as a seed until the point where it blooms and it harvests. There are some individuals who might take things from that perspective. There are some people who just enjoy the fact that they are able to feed a multitude of people at once. So it all comes down to you as a person and how you want to share your story online. I'll be honest with you, there are most of the time, something that works very well in terms of pushing your product to others is sharing from a storytelling perspective, making sure you share the who behind the project, the why behind the project, and how it's going to benefit the audience is the best strategy to go about bringing your product to the general public. So I would say take things from that perspective. There's also the perspective of, sharing the positives of the industry that you're in, the negatives that you've observed, and the reason why you're now trying to share those reasons to the forefront in the limelight. So there are a multitude of perspectives that you can take your digital marketing from, but the perspective that I notice works best is when individuals share their story. If there is a story behind why you sell your products regularly and frequently, that is the perspective that I would take it from, for sure.
Thank you very much. And Bronte Swanson, please go ahead. Swanston.
Thank you. Excellent presentation. Thank you very much. Just a comment and a question. In terms of the comment, sometimes when products are labeled, maybe because of the size of the product, the label is very, very small and persons are unable to read either the ingredients or the nutritional information. And there's some persons who are definitely not going to buy products where they cannot read the nutritional panel.
Which is true.
So, yeah. So, and I was actually witness to that where I saw someone take up a product. It might have been a jam or jelly or something of that nature, but they weren't able to read the ingredients on the nutritional panel, and for that reason, they did not make the purchase. So it's just important to remember that. In terms of the question, I did post it in the chat, but I'll ask it now. What are your thoughts on also sharing with consumers how your products can also be used as ingredients to make maybe beverages, snacks, or other nutritional foods? So if we use bananas as an example, then a selling point might be that bananas are very versatile. You can use them to make pancakes where maybe the base is like an oat flour, or maybe smoothies, or energy bites. So just getting your thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, in general, I think sharing with your consumers how your products can be used as ingredients for different foods, that's an extremely effective marketing strategy because number one, not only does it educate the customer on the versatility of your products, which gives you like a competitive edge, but also it speaks to the value of the products that you offer, and it might even encourage them to purchase more. Again, we know that most of the consumers, they are looking for, there's a growing demand for, being more health conscious, eating more organic or healthier versions of meals. So if I know that by purchasing, for example, you may said something a while ago, your oat flour, or I buy your honey, or I buy your agave syrup, and it allows me to still make the meals that I enjoy, but just incorporating healthier ingredients. that's an effective marketing strategy, you know, which is why with a lot of packaging that you see on very popular items, trying to think, if you look at pancakes, if you look at certain cake mixes, they will always include a recipes for sharing, which I highlighted earlier. If you're able to include a simple and easy to follow recipe, you have like a nice photo of the recipe, and you showcase how you can make that same thing with the utilization of your products. That's an excellent selling point, because now the consumer is going to see that they can still have the option that they usually enjoy, whether it be, I don't know, a cheesecake, a mac and cheese, whatever it is. However, they can have a healthier version of that item. So I think that that's a fantastic strategy. It would be great if within your nutritional marketing that you incorporate, for example, recipes or seasonal recipes, or even if you do some sort of video, let's say utilize social media to do a cooking demo and showcase how your products can be used to make meals that people have every day, but a healthier version. I think that's absolutely fantastic. That's a great marketing strategy within itself.
Okay, thank you very much. We have some questions in the chat from Ronita Olivier. Ms. Douglas, what is the cost attached to nutritional marketing?
What is the cost?
Yeah, cost attached to nutritional marketing.
I mean, the biggest cost I think would just be time, because time is your largest resource. But I feel like the return on investment is a lot greater, because at the end of the day, nobody can take away the knowledge that you would have gained on the products that you're choosing to promote and sell. And again, when you take things from the perspective of educating, inspiring, forming a connection with your customers based on their interests and their needs, you're always going to be able to maintain your revenue, maintain your sales, and gain something positive in return lucratively. So for me, that would be the main cost associated. If you decide to take things up a notch, obviously, and decide to create visual aids, decide to create little wobblers or danglers surrounding your different products and produce, then of course there will be a monetary cost associated with that. But again, at the end of the day, anything that is visually appealing or anything that you believe is going to add value to your product, I don't see a reason as to why you should not be investing in it in the first place. If you're able to, do it. If not, as I always tell people, knowledge is power, and ensure you connect with your audience and you know your product, you should be just fine.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And another question from Fidelia Gopal Joseph. How do I create a digital marketing strategy?
How to create a digital marketing strategy for your products. Interesting question. I think it would fall within the same. Hi?
Go ahead, sorry.
Okay. I said, I think it would fall within the same categories. Again, for a lot of things to take off and do well digitally, a lot of the times the people we pay attention to online, the people that we follow, the people we watch, is because normally they have some sort of expertise on whatever they're sharing with us on the digital space or digital platform. We want to know that every time we engage with them, we are learning something new. We are, gaining a new perspective. We're having an aha moment. And if you're able to, as I said, effectively do that by gaining an understanding of the products and services that you are selling, then you're easily able to start off with your strategy in that way. So we spoke earlier about the digital marketing strategy of making sure that every week you're at least sharing one tip with your audience about your product. Did you know that, for example, carrots help you see better at night? Did you know that bananas have similar effects to melatonin if you eat them in the evening? Did you know that oats are very high in fiber? Did you know that kombucha, helps your gut? And speaking from the perspective of how it benefits the customer. So if you're somebody who has numerous gut issues and you're trying to learn more, eat more probiotics to help your gut improve, you can incorporate probiotics as well as these other items that I sell, which are very, very beneficial to ensuring that you settle your gut and that you're able to, get a good night's sleep, that you're able to, see improvements in your gut microbiome. So by understanding your product, as I said, and knowing your audience, knowing how to make sure you pique consumer interest, that is the strategy that I would take. So it would fall similar to the steps I would have showed here. Everything really starts from step one, which is knowing your product.
Thank you very much for that explanation. Bronte Swanston, do you have another question, or I see your hand is still up. And ladies, any more questions? Any more questions to Ms. Douglas? Okay, Ms. Douglas, it seems everything has been explained very clearly. At this time, we do not have any more questions.
Okay.
But thank you. Okay, we have one from Rines Fahey.
Yes. Just had a quick question. How about young plants? Because someone came today to the farm and asked about young slips like avocados and breadfruit. How would I market? I never thought of it. How do I market that online as well?
She said something, but I'm not sure. Did she say young fans?
Yeah,
Plants, slips. Yeah, young plants, like from a nursery.
Oh, young plants.
Yes.
Oh, that's true. We haven't really spoken about plants as well. There are a number of people who sell plants here.
Yeah.
I mean, the nice thing about plants is the perspective you can always take plants from is the fact that it's extremely rewarding to grow your own, you know? And it depends on what you're also growing as well, because if you can take from the perspective of growing food, from the perspective of starting your own home garden, from the perspective of growing your home, it really requires a strategic approach. So I think with plants, you also have to lean on your audience and the purpose behind why they'd want to make the purchase of the plants as well. There's so many different audience that fall under plants also, because it could just be somebody who's like a, first time gardener. Maybe they're looking for an easy to grow plant that they can keep in their home. It could be just for somebody who's trying to, grow their own herbs, their own vegetables, have their own decorative plants. It could be somebody even taking it from a business perspective, maybe a landscaper or somebody who wants to start their own garden center or sell their own plants. It really depends on the audience. But I think taking it from the perspective of making sure that they understand how rewarding it is to do something on their own, whether it be to grow their own food or start their own garden or beautify their own home. That's the approach that I would take. Just educating them on that, on how important that is, differentiating, of course, the plants that you have, knowing the difference between each one, and showcasing their value. That would be my top 3 approaches.
Okay.
There's also making sure you speak to the care tips as well, speaking about how, making sure you have detailed instructions on how to take care of each plant, best times to water them and things like that, That's beneficial.
Okay, thank you. I will do. Okay.
All right, thank you very much for that. Ladies, any more questions before we end this evening session? Any more questions on nutritional marketing? Okay. All right. Well, Ms. Douglas, I think you have been able to share everything very clearly. And I know many of the ladies are hoping to get this presentation from you as well, so they could review this presentation. They would have the material. Of course, ladies, this presentation is also recorded and will be placed on YouTube at a later date. Once again, thank you so much, Ms. Douglas, for this presentation on nutritional marketing, something which is very prevalent these days, something that is very timely, as this can be used to assist our members with better being able to make use of the resources that they have. better informing their customers of why they should be using the products and the products that they have. And so thank you so much once again, Ms. Douglas, for this presentation. And I do hope that you all have a wonderful evening. Take care, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And ladies, I wish you a and Otto as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Good night, ladies. Take care.
All right,
Good
take care.
night.
Bye.
Good night.
Thanks a
Good
lot.
night.
Good night.
everyone. Thank you ever so kindly.